In the vast echoing chamber of the Galactic Council, silence hung heavy like a thick, suffocating blanket. June Park stood alone, a solitary human figure surrounded by alien representatives from 1,000 different worlds. His dark suit was crisp, his posture straight, but his eyes carried a quiet intensity that seemed to unsettle the alien diplomats. The Rigelian Elder, a creature with skin like polished stone and eyes that glimmered with ancient wisdom, leaned forward. His translucent tendrils moved slightly as he spoke, each word carefully measured and dripping with condescension. "Humans are not ready," he declared. The universal translator rendered his words with clinical precision. "Your species lacks the fundamental understanding of interstellar diplomacy and technological sophistication." Around June, holographic displays flickered with historical records and technological assessments. Graphs and charts compared human development to other galactic civilizations. Every metric seemed to point to humanity's apparent inadequacy. June did not flinch. He had prepared for this moment, not with anger but with a calm that surprised even himself. He knew what the Council didn't understand. Humanity's greatest strength was not in its current capabilities, but in its potential for rapid, unexpected growth. The other Council members nodded. A Zorn representative, tall and crystalline, clicked its multiple appendages in agreement. A gaseous being from the nebula clusters shifted its ethereal form, seemingly bored by the proceedings. "Your planet remains primitive," another delegate added. "Your technological infrastructure is fragmented. Your species is still fighting internal conflicts. How can you possibly consider yourself ready for galactic citizenship?" June listened. Each criticism was a data point. Each dismissive comment was a potential strategy. He had studied every previous first contact scenario. He understood the psychological warfare happening in this moment. The Council was not just rejecting humanity. They were attempting to crush its spirit. But June Park represented something they could not comprehend. He represented a species that thrived on challenge, a species that transformed adversity into opportunity, a species that, when told something was impossible, would work tirelessly to prove otherwise. "We acknowledge your assessment," June finally spoke. His voice was calm, almost gentle. No hint of aggression, no trace of anger, just a simple, profound statement of understanding. The Rigelian Elder seemed surprised. He had expected an emotional outburst, a display of human weakness. Instead, he received calculated professionalism. "We will continue to develop," June continued, "not to prove ourselves to you, but because development is our nature." Behind him, a small holographic display showed Earth, not its military installations, not its technological centers, just a beautiful blue planet spinning slowly against the backdrop of space. A planet of oceans, forests, cities, and endless potential. The Council members exchanged glances. Something about this human was different. Something they could not easily categorize or dismiss. The Rigelian Elder sat back, his multiple sensory organs processing every minute detail of June's presentation. For the first time in the hearing, a flicker of something resembling respect crossed his alien features. June knew this was just the beginning. This rejection was not an end, but a starting point. Humanity would not be defined by this moment. They would be defined by what came next. As he turned to leave the grand chamber, the holographic displays continued to spin. Charts and graphs told their story of human potential. But June knew the real story would be written not in data, but in actions. The door closed behind him. The Galactic Council meeting was over, but humanity's journey was just beginning. Outside the chamber, a new chapter was waiting to be written, a chapter that would surprise, challenge, and ultimately reshape the understanding of what it meant to be a spacefaring civilization. Deep, within a hidden research facility nestled in the mountains of South Korea, Dr. Hana Kim worked with the intensity that burned brighter than any artificial light. Her team of scientists moved like a single organism, each member connected by a shared purpose: to prove humanity's technological potential. The rejection from the Galactic Council had not defeated them. Instead, It had ignited a fire of innovation that spread across research centers worldwide. Governments and private institutions suddenly found themselves united by a single goal: to develop technologies that would make the aliens reconsider their dismissal. Quantum computers hummed with a rhythm that seemed almost alive. Screens flickered, with complex algorithms that pushed the boundaries of human understanding. Hannah watched as molecular-level simulations ran faster than anyone had thought possible. Each calculation was a step toward something extraordinary. "We're not just building technology," she whispered to her lead engineer, Sung. "We're creating a language the galaxy will understand." In another part of the facility, a breakthrough was happening. A small team worked on nanoengineering that could adapt and repair itself faster than any known technological system. Microscopic machines began to demonstrate capabilities that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Fusion research took quantum leaps. What once took years of development now happened in weeks. Power sources became more compact, more efficient. Energy production shifted from a challenge to an opportunity. Around the world, research centers that were once competitive now shared information. The global scientific community had transformed. No longer were they working for individual recognition. They were working for something bigger: humanity's future among the stars. Artificial intelligence systems began to evolve in ways no one had predicted. They didn't just process information, they learned, adapted, and anticipated. Machine learning algorithms started solving complex problems that had stumped human researchers for decades. Outside the research facility, the world continued its normal rhythm. People went to work, children went to school, cities buzzed with daily life. None of them knew about the technological revolution happening in secret laboratories and research centers. Hannah remembered the Galactic Council's words: primitive. They had called humanity. She smiled. Primitive was the last thing they were becoming. A breakthrough in quantum communication caught her attention. Researchers had discovered a method of transmitting information that was instantaneous and completely secure. No alien technology could intercept or decode these transmissions. The military was interested, of course, but this was more than a defensive technology. It was a statement, a declaration that humanity could innovate in ways no one expected. Space. Exploration technologies advanced at an unprecedented rate. Propulsion systems that once seemed like science fiction became practical research projects. Materials that could withstand extreme conditions were developed in laboratories around the globe. Sung approached Hannah with a data pad. "The latest simulation results," he said. His eyes were bright with excitement. "We've solved the energy efficiency problem in our adaptive nanosystems. Each breakthrough was carefully documented, not for publication, but for preparation. Humanity was building something the Galactic Council would never see coming." The researchers worked in shifts, but the work never stopped. Day and night, the facility buzzed with energy and possibility. Young scientists worked alongside veterans, all united by a common dream. "We are writing the next chapter of human potential," Hannah would tell her team. "Not for recognition, not for pride, but because this is what we do. We adapt, we overcome, we evolve." Outside, the mountain landscape remained unchanged. Snow-covered peaks stood as silent witnesses to the technological revolution happening within the research facility. Birds flew overhead, unaware of the incredible work happening below. Humanity was preparing, not for war, not for conflict, but for a moment of revelation. A moment when the galaxy would look at Earth and see not a primitive planet, but a civilization ready to take its place among the stars. Dr. Hannah Kim looked at her team. They were more than researchers. They were architects of humanity's future. And they were just getting started. Commander Sung Lee stood in the holographic control room, his eyes scanning multiple dimensional projections of potential galactic scenarios. The massive display showed Earth's strategic preparations, a complex network of technological and military innovations that moved like a living organism. Around him, military and scientific experts worked with precision. No one spoke unnecessarily. Each movement, each calculation, was deliberate. The room felt like a living, breathing machine of human potential. Stealth technology had become their primary focus, not just traditional camouflage, but adaptive systems that could change molecular structures in milliseconds. Spacecraft designs emerged that could become invisible, not just to optical systems, but to every known scanning technology in the galaxy. "We are not preparing for war," Sung told his senior officers during a briefing. "We are preparing for respect." Weapon systems developed beyond conventional understanding. Instead of destructive capabilities, they focused on control and neutralization. Imagine a weapon that could disable an entire fleet's communication and navigation without firing a single destructive shot. Global resources had been redirected. Universities, research centers, military installations, all worked in synchronized harmony. Every technological breakthrough was immediately integrated into their strategic framework. Satellite networks transformed. No longer just communication tools, they became adaptive intelligence platforms. Each satellite could analyze, predict, and respond to potential threats faster than any alien system could comprehend. Cyber warfare capabilities expanded beyond traditional boundaries. Human programmers developed algorithms that could infiltrate and control alien technological systems without leaving a trace. They were creating a digital language that transcended known technological boundaries. Space exploration took on a new meaning. Secret missions launched to understand potential alien technologies. Probes designed to look like space debris collected information from distant star systems. Nothing was left to chance. The military's approach was surgical. Precision over power, intelligence over brute force. Each strategy was designed to demonstrate capability without aggression. Psychological warfare became a critical component. They studied alien communication patterns, cultural nuances, and technological limitations. Understanding the enemy was more important than defeating them. Genetic research accelerated, not for modification, but for understanding human adaptability. The human body itself became a research project. How quickly could humans adjust to different environments? What were the limits of human potential? Commander Sung watched as a new generation of adaptive combat suits were tested. These weren't just protective gear. They were intelligent systems that could anticipate threats, adjust molecular structures, and provide enhanced capabilities beyond current technological understanding. Global cooperation reached unprecedented levels. Countries that were once competitors now shared research. National boundaries became meaningless in the face of a broader goal, proving humanity's galactic potential. Economic systems were restructured. Resources were channeled into research and development. Every citizen became part of this silent revolution, whether they knew it or not. Training programs developed for potential space scenarios. Not just military personnel, but scientists, engineers, and specialists were prepared for first contact situations. Communication protocols were designed. Psychological training implemented. The human species was transforming. From a planet-bound civilization to a potential galactic player. Every technological advancement was a step toward that goal. Sung knew they were building something unprecedented. Not a weapon of destruction, but a system of potential. A demonstration of what humanity could become when united by a single purpose. Intelligence networks expanded. Information gathering became an art form. They were collecting data not just about potential threats, but about opportunities for understanding and cooperation. As night fell outside the command center, the work continued. Holographic displays flickered, showing potential scenarios, technological projections, and strategic preparations. Humanity was no longer waiting to be invited to the galactic table. They were preparing to pull up their own chair. Commander Sung Lee allowed himself a small smile. The galaxy was about to meet a species they had completely underestimated. The strategic preparation was complete. The next move was theirs. The Galactic Council chamber felt different this time. The usual arrogance had been replaced by a cautious respect. Diplomats from 1,000 worlds sat quietly, their previous dismissiveness now transformed into carefully measured curiosity. June Park walked in, no longer alone. Behind him stood a diverse team of human representatives, scientists, military strategists, and diplomatic experts. Their collective presence spoke volumes. The Rigelian elder who had once mocked humanity now looked uncomfortable. The technological demonstration had changed everything. Humanity was no longer a species to be ignored. "We are here to discuss terms," June began. His voice was calm, but carried an unmistakable strength. No longer was he asking for permission. He was negotiating. Diplomatic exchanges began. But these were unlike any previous interactions. Humanity presented not demands but opportunities. Technology exchanges, strategic partnerships, mutual exploration agreements that would benefit multiple civilizations. The humans had studied alien cultures extensively. Each negotiation point was carefully crafted. They understood the complex political dynamics of the Galactic Council better than the Council members expected. Scientific breakthroughs became bargaining chips, quantum communication technologies, adaptive nanoengineering solutions, energy, production methods that could revolutionize multiple planetary systems. Other alien civilizations watched with growing interest. The humans were different. They weren't seeking conquest. They were offering collaboration. Behind the diplomatic facade, Earth's global network remained vigilant. Military systems stood ready, not as a threat, but as a demonstration of preparedness. Humanity would negotiate from a position of strength. The Council's initial resistance began to crumble. Each proposed technology was more impressive than the last. Humanity had spent years preparing not just militarily, but intellectually. "We propose a comprehensive technology exchange," June explained. "Not just knowledge transfer, but collaborative research platforms that benefit all participating civilizations." The proposal was revolutionary. Unlike previous galactic interactions that were transactional, this was truly collaborative. Humanity offered something unique: adaptability, innovation, and a fresh perspective. Alien representatives began to see humans differently, no longer primitive, no longer a species to be dismissed, but a dynamic, intelligent civilization with unprecedented potential. Economic models were redrawn, strategic alliances reconsidered. The entire galactic political landscape started shifting. Technological demonstrations continued. Subtle, powerful displays of human capabilities that left alien civilizations both impressed and slightly intimidated. The resolution was unexpected, not through conflict, not through submission, but through a demonstration of potential that challenged every previous assumption about humanity. Earth's global population watched carefully. News networks reported carefully curated information. The world understood something significant was happening. Scientific communities celebrated. Military strategists analyzed every detail. Diplomatic experts refined communication protocols. The Galactic Council's final resolution was unprecedented. Humanity would be granted not just membership, but a unique collaborative status. A civilization recognized for its potential, not just its current capabilities. June Park's team had achieved what seemed impossible. They had transformed a rejection into an opportunity. A moment of humiliation into a platform for global recognition. As the negotiations concluded, something else became clear. Humanity was not just joining the galactic community. They were about to reshape it. The final document was signed, not with traditional ceremonies, but with a simple digital exchange, a technological handshake that represented a new era of interstellar cooperation. Back on Earth, celebrations were subdued. This was not a victory over others. This was a victory of human potential, of collaboration, of showing the galaxy that intelligence and adaptability could overcome any initial limitation. The unexpected resolution was complete. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, not as a conqueror, not as a supplicant, but as an equal.